7 rows, 14 rows, 21 rows. I love to go. And beat.
So Nigeria's internal security crisis is no longer just a domestic issue. It's become a high-stakes battle for influence in Washington, according to the UK-based Africa Confidential, a respected newsletter that's built a global reputation for original reporting and analysis of key political and security developments across Africa. As competing narratives over violence and claims of a Christian genocide gain traction in the US, the Nigerian government and Biafran secessionist groups are now locked in an aggressive lobbying war, each seeking the attention and support of President Trump. According to Africa Confidential, alarmed by President Trump's threat last November to go into Nigeria guns a-blazing, the Tinubu administration has moved quickly to counter separatist claims, signing a multi-million-dollar lobbying contract with a Republican-linked firm to shape U.S. policy on visas, military cooperation, trade, and religious freedom. The scale of Abuja's effort far outweighs that of the pro-Biafra groups, who are also lobbying Washington, pushing for sanctions, diplomatic recognition, and even future military and oil agreements. So what's really at stake in this foreign lobbying battle? And how could it shape Nigeria's security, sovereignty, and international standing? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now on the line from London by Patrick Smith, Editor-in-Chief of Africa Confidential, and is also Editor-in-Chief of the Africa Report, a monthly African politics and business magazine. Patrick, thank you very much indeed for joining us. You're a very busy man, so we appreciate your taking the time to talk to us, and a very happy new year to you. And your reporting.
Thank you, Mazi Elias. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you,
Thank you, Honorable Elias. Thank you.
Yes.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Good to see
In
you.
the light of the moment, let us give a brief recap of 2025, because a lot of people are waiting to see the miracles that will be happening in 2026, just like our Honorable Elias has said. And let's refresh your memory a bit. Since after the declaration, the ratification of the declaration in 2nd December 2024, BRGIA has kept the momentum in the political, diplomatic, and international relations. BRGIA has also kept on the momentum with the Defense Department of Biafran people in Biafra land under the command of General Igwe Butuzo. In the middle of 2025, BRGI visited Finland embassy in US to protest against the detention of PM Simon Ekpa, while the Finland embassy officials, on seeing the arrival protest of BRGI, shut down the embassy indefinitely. And everyone said they are closed now in the embassy because they felt threatened by the voices of Biafrans that stormed their embassy. BRGI APM has continued diplomacy in Washington, D.C. since January in attendance of President Donald Trump's official inauguration on congressional invitation to the BRGIE. BRGI in late July submitted a first ever historic U.S. congressional testimony to the U.S. Congress, which is vicious to everyone on the U.S. Congress website, calling for sanctions on Nigeria and Finland because of kidnapping of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, taking part in imprisonment of Mazi Simon Ekpa, taking part and supervise, pays Islamic jihadist terrorists that carries out Christian genocide for over 25 years now. Religious persecution was a key word to the US government. Nigeria has gotten the result of our work. BRGI also submitted a proposal to the US government for political support, offering military bases to be able to eliminate the entire Islamic jihadist terrorists, which will in turn become imminent threat to the America tomorrow and to the entire world. All these documents are available on the US Congress website and FARA at your own disposal. On the 18th September 2025 was the historic day where Biafrans were granted the first ever historic opportunity in the US Congress for the first ever congressional briefing on Biafra, which lasted for over 1 hour 45 minutes in US Capitol Hill. It was opportunity for a live congressional testimony against Nigeria, for Biafra, for our leaders in prison, for Biafra recognitions, for Biafra restoration, for the Christian genocide, religious persecution, and more stringent measures against Nigeria. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was sentenced to death and life imprisonment on November 20, 2025. And on the same day, US lawmakers, educated by the BRGI, APM, and lobbyists and attorney, apprehended Nigeria live in the worldwide US congressional hearing that was ongoing. The hardworking of BRGI speaks. First ever spoken about Biafra leaders and Biafra in the US Congress floor. Our result and demands to US government are coming out gradually. Nigeria sanctions, CPC designation, and now bombing on Nigerian terrorists inside Nigerian soil. First ever credibility damage to Nigeria internationally. BRGI has within 1 year done the following to Nigeria. In our caption, we say credibility damage, international pressure on their military formations and on Nigerian government, political and diplomatic isolations. BRGI has successfully weaponized US foreign policies apparatus against Nigeria, and more are to come. We salute all Biafrans, and we thank you all for making it possible in 2025. In 2026, just like our lobbyists have said, you will do more and achieve more, and Nigeria will be on their knees. Thank you very much. Honorable, to you, sir.
Ndewo.
Ndewo.
Ndewo. All right.
So we are in
So
donations, support. Yeah.
Right.
Honorable Rep, let me help you here. We are in donations, support. Please come and support the APN speech, our lobbies and legal representative. They've been here, they've been doing well. You've heard our report and you've seen all that is happening. More and more are coming in 2026. The sky will be our limit. And we can tell you what Nigeria have not seen for years, they will see it more in 2026. For many years, there has never been such credibility damage that foreign airstrikes had to come and hit terrorists at their domicile in Nigeria, which the Nigerian government have protected themselves. The international community needed to be educated. That is what Michael Rubin said while we were in U.S. congressional briefing. He said, the Biafran Republic government in Nigeria need to continue to engage the U.S. lawmakers and educate them the more about what they need to know about Nigeria, so that when it's time to strike and take decisive measures against them, they will know what exactly to do to them. So we appreciate all Biafrans that have been making it happen. Please support the town hall, support our end of the year annual report, support APN speech, support Mazi Elias speech as we move on so that we can wrap up. One, it's been a wonderful year with your good works and energy, consistency, resilience, and sacrifices. We don't know how to thank you all enough, but in one word, may the God of Biafra with you all.
Okay.
He said.
We observe a minute silence to the fallen heroes of Biafra, and the time starts now. We mourn our heroes past, we celebrate them, and we celebrate our heroes living as we fight on to see that Biafra is fully restored. Ise, ise, ise. Greetings to everyone, and I bring you warm greetings. I salute you from wherever you're joining us from, and from wherever you're joining from, please do share the program, hit the like button and share, and let others know that we are here. Biafra on the international stage. Our PM duly sworn in yesterday, His Excellency Honorable Okechukwu Nkere. The recap of 2025 of BRGI handout has proven beyond reasonable doubt that Nigeria got the message from your activism. It is only a fool and an idiot that is attacking you on the media, having seen and known the effectiveness of your work with your cabinet in 2025. I salute our leaders that have lived before us for their sacrifices, and our leaders in prison, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, our supreme leader, Mazi Simon Ekpa, our former prime minister, and all our heroes in the battlefield, and all Biafrans who are standing their ground to make sure Biafra continues to make result. We wouldn't have been making the headlines and drawing Nigeria to America if Honorable Okechukwu Nkere had run away or backed down, considering all the sabotages, blackmail, and slander, and how they have destroyed his name and the name of our international lobbies and attorney, Elias and Attorney Dabiri. Nigeria will not be looking for $9 million today to counter the efforts of BRJ on Biafra independence, having spent $2.7 million in October 2025 and it yielded no fruit. In 2026, they have toppled the money to $9 million. They wouldn't have gone this far if Okechukwu Nkere, the then active prime minister, who was acting instead of the former prime minister in prison, who is now the prime minister, if Honorable Okechukwu Nkere was shying away and running away from his responsibility as a man. You need a formidable mindset to speak up and to stand out to challenge the forces of darkness and those that work so hard to destroy the cause of Biafra under BRGIE before you could even talk of those that will come to support you. That is why I am using this very opportunity to tell all Biafrans who have stood their ground to support BRGIE since November 2024 to this very day. God bless all of you, and I am very grateful for the confidence that you guys repose in our PM, Okechukwu Nkere, and Sonny, who is nobody. Sorry, Sonny is a nobody. But you guys repose your confidence in Sonny, Okechukwu Nkere, and the entire cabinet since November 2024. And we've been able to drive this far with your support. Yes, it's not everybody that have money to put into the struggle, but your moral support also counts. Those that have the money and put in wholeheartedly without even regretting, even when they see series of sabotages, I salute all of you because I know all of you by names and locations of the amount of sacrifices that you do, not minding all the sabotages that have engulfed this very struggle since 1967 down to this very day. There has never been any transition of Biafran government in the quest of Biafra without sabotage. And that is why our eyes are very open now. Yes, to anyone that wants to sabotage BRGIA now in 2026. 24 hours will not pass you by. You will collect pia pia. I salute everybody. And I thank you all for the confidence that you have reposed on our APM and BRGI and how far that we have come. 2026 is a great year, and we must stand strong to make sure we get all that we want. We are happy that Nigeria is crying with $9 million to promote BRGIA, to promote Biafra, to challenge Biafra in Washington, D.C. If we were not useful, if we did not hold Nigeria in their box, if we did not do something that have injured them, how will Nigeria bring out $9 million to go after Elias, to go after Okenkere, to go after Tonedabiri, to go after BRGI? We have had series and plenty groups of foolish people that are making noise in the media. We've had series of foolish people making noise in the media since November, claiming to be Biafra government, claiming to be Biafra government, claiming to be Biafra government. But I did not see Nigerian government crying over their caricature work. I did not see it. Nigerian government are only crying about Okenkere and Elias and BRGIE. This has become a turmoil. This has become a stone on the scrotum of Nigeria. And I am asking, if you are blind and deaf, are you also dumb in speaking the goodness of BRGIE? Because even Nigeria is speaking the goodness of BRGIE. Because if they did not see the goodness of BRGIE, they will not go as far as looking for a counter-lobbying campaign. First, in October 16, they invested $2.7 million. From that time till now, it did not yield any good fruit. They collected a series of sanctions, which we push to fall on them. And all those sanctions came successfully. And more sanctions on the way. And bomb was dropped on their terrorists in their Sokoto Caliphate headquarters. Then they have seen that the 2.7 million they invested in October has yielded no fruit. Now they have to topple it to $9 million. Why? The headline is going after BRGIE. Because of what? Biafra. I salute all Biafrans. How to promote Biafra with $9 million if they were not actually doing something useful? How to promote BRGIE with $9 million if they were not doing something useful? How to promote Elias Gerasulu's law firm, and how to promote and produce and project Attorney Dabere law firm. How to promote our Prime Minister, Honorable Okechukwu Nkere. How to promote BRGIA cabinet if they were not working actively Will you invest $9 million? You remember, how many of you remember when Nigerian government said they are placing bounty of $150,000 for the head of our prime minister? Later they say 650. Later they say 500,000. I am telling you today that Nigerian government are placing $9 million as a bounty on BRGIE. So if you are a BRGIE affiliate and a lover of BRGIE, under the leadership of Prime Minister Okechukwu Kere, that have been doing wonders since November 2024, down to this very day, you should know that you are very expensive. Yes, you are very expensive. BRGIA have been able to make the imprisonment of our former Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, to become useless to who? To European Union, to Nigerian government. We have also made the imprisonment of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to become useless and is more expensive to Nigerian government. That is why they are investing money that they are supposed to use to bring down the terrorists in your country. They are investing money that they are supposed to use to develop communities. They are investing money that they are supposed to use to give you good working amenities. They are investing money they should have used to pay your parent arrears and salaries and pensions. They are using that money as a bounty, as a ransom on the head of BRGIE under the leadership of Okechukwu Kere. Oh my God. How to promote Biafra with $9 million. I want everybody to go and think of the epistle that you have to write. You have to write a book. You have to write a book. You have to start writing a book now. Write a book of the chronology of Okechukwu Nkere from November 2024 to January 2026. In that chronology and that epistle, let us know how they have bastardized his name and the cabinet of BRGI. Everything that they have done and worked so much to destroy his name. What they have done to destroy Elias Gerasolu's law firm, and what they have done to destroy Amendabiri. What they have done to destroy the BDF. What they have done to destroy BRGI cabinet. And then depict the formidability of BRGI. How they stood tall to take all bullets, no matter all the situation that came. How they sustained, and how they have gone from grass to grace. How they have been able to use one stone to kill too many birds. We are killing the birds in European Commission. Who imprisoned Mazi Simon Ekpa? We are killing the birds in Nigeria. Who kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Who pronounced him death sentence? Who pronounced him life imprisonment? Who say that Biafrans are international terrorists? We are killing the birds in all these sectors. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said something on the day that it was pronounced death sentence and life imprisonment. He said, God will punish all of you forever and forever. I want to ask all of you now, is God not punishing Nigeria? Is God not punishing Nigeria on daily basis? Is God not punishing the European Commission on daily basis for the evil that they did about our leaders? Is it not happening as our leaders pronounce it? They are getting the punishment from all angles. Yesterday, their football team went to go and represent them. I want to ask all of you, have you seen where Nigerian football team carried a banner to project and show the Christian genocide that is happening in Nigeria? Did you see it? No. But you saw a different country. You saw Romania. You see America. You see Canada carrying the cross of Nigeria genocide on their head to speak and tell the entire world that Nigerian government supervises and eliminates their citizens. But Nigerian football team and all their athletes, when they go to represent Nigeria, they will carry that useless flag and be doing like this on the air. God is punishing all of you, one after another, for representing a terrorist country, for representing a country that killed their babies, women, and children. We enjoy when we see Nigeria cry. We enjoy when we see their officials cry. Let them continue the cry. The cry needs to be heightened. We love your initiative of crying with $9 million. If BRGI were not active, if Okechukwu Nkere was not active in office during his reign, Biafra would have been forgotten. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu would have been forgotten in prison. Mazi Simon Ekpa would have been forgotten in prison. Did you see all those lobbies and lawmakers that they have brought together to fight against BRGI and Biafra? Did you see them looking for any other groups or some splinter groups or some non-entity groups of companies? No, they are looking for BRGI. They speak boldly and call the work of BRGI. Let us go back here and hear what and how they analyze us at the beginning of this very program. Let's listen to how they analyze us, how they speak of us. I am very proud to be amongst the living today and to see how we are small but mighty cabinet of BRGI and all Biafrans that are giving their support. See how you are small but mighty, but you are pulling so much weight against Nigeria in Washington, D.C. You did not carry bullet to shoot in Abuja. You did not carry bullet to shoot in Lagos, but you only carried pen and paper and go with a lobbyist and attorney and engage the U.S. lawmakers. You now see how the lobbying, the political and diplomatic engagement is very important in political spheres, because today we live in the world of politics. You have to play the politics in a systematic manner, in a manner and form and way that will key in to the happenings of the day. What is the happenings of the day? How is it keying in? Religious persecution was our key word. And that is what has happened to all of us. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a product of religious persecution. He's a Christian. And so they had to treat his case differently compared to the terrorists that are giving you notice of eviction. If you are not happy for the success of BRGIA today, under Honorable Okechukwu Nkere as the Prime Minister now, it means you were caused from your mother's womb. Yes, because our leaders behind bars in Finland, in Nigeria, cannot do anything for us from inside prison. They are solely dependent on us. We are the free people. We are the ones that the baton has entered our own arms. We are the ones that have the responsibility to carry the hammer and hit it where it should be. We are the ones to knock on all doors. We are the ones to step up and do what we have to do, which will ignite their release, which will activate many sanctions on those that did what? Imprisoned them. It is what we do out here that will bring our leaders out. No leader stay inside prison to lead in a liberation movement of this kind. Not even a democratic setting where a country is in section and then your leader is in prison and then the government of the day will now go to prison to go and take order from the leader in prison before they decide how to rule the country. It means all the other leaders living and walking with their 2 foot, they are all dead. They are having dead brains. So wake up and face the needful.
So Nigeria's internal security crisis is no longer just a domestic issue. It's become a high-stakes battle for influence in Washington, according to the UK-based Africa Confidential, a respected newsletter that's built a global reputation for original reporting and analysis of key political and security developments across Africa. As competing narratives over violence and claims of a Christian genocide gain traction in the US, the Nigerian government and Biafran secessionist groups are now locked in an aggressive lobbying war, each seeking the attention and support of President Trump. According to Africa Confidential, alarmed by President Trump's threat last November to go into Nigeria guns a-blazing, the Tinubu administration has moved quickly to counter separatist claims, signing a multi-million-dollar lobbying contract with a Republican-linked firm to shape U.S. policy on visas, military cooperation, trade, and religious freedom. The scale of Abuja's effort far outweighs that of the pro-Biafra groups, who are also lobbying Washington, pushing for sanctions, diplomatic recognition, and even future military and oil agreements. So what's really at stake in this foreign lobbying battle? And how could it shape Nigeria's security, sovereignty, and international standing? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now on the line from London by Patrick Smith, Editor-in-Chief of Africa Confidential, and is also Editor-in-Chief of the Africa Report, a monthly African politics and business magazine. Patrick, thank you very much indeed for joining us. You're a very busy man, so we appreciate your taking the time to talk to us, and a very happy new year to you. And your reporting suggests Nigeria's security crisis is now being fought not just at home, but in Washington. I mean, how unusual is it for an internal African security issue to escalate to this level of what I might call US lobbying warfare?
Yeah, greetings, Charles, and Happy New Year to you and all your viewers. It's actually par for the course within the American system. The lobbying issue, the lobbying operations in the US are very much part of the political bargaining system there. You know, for example, I can give you the case of a senior State Department official who was backing the UNITA separatist movement in Angola under Jonas Savimbi. If you remember, way back in the 1980s, the CIA was backing Jonas Savimbi. Then the MPLA won the elections in 1992. This guy left the State Department, set up a lobbying firm, and then started backing the MPLA. and who was paying $1 million a year to run a website for the MPLA. And that's often the case. And I think the problem with this lobbying business is it's a sort of privatization of diplomacy. And it downgrades the real decision makers and the state, and it downgrades accountability. And I think that came out very strongly when US President Trump made his threats about going into Nigeria guns a-blazing. And suddenly the government in Abuja had to react really quickly, appoint ambassadors, not just to the US and UK, but several other countries, and then start this kind of negotiation with the US officials.
So, I mean, I lost you there for a minute, but what specifically triggered the sudden scramble for influence in Washington? Was it President Trump's comments or something deeper that's been building for years?
I think it was manifold, Charles. I think it was, first of all, the threat of the US deciding to make Nigeria a target and threatening military action. And I think there are also bad memories among the Tinubu loyalists of what happened 10 years ago under President Goodluck Jonathan, when the kidnapping of the Chibok girls became an international cause célèbre. And in the lights of many at the time, that was one of the government's failures on that, was one of the reasons why Goodluck Jonathan lost that election against Muhammadu Buhari. And I think the Tinubu campaign team saw that coming down the road and thought, we must move really fast on this. So I think on that score, it had an effect. And I think also, as you said in your intro, you've had this long-running lobbying campaign by the Biafran lobbyists demanding action because Christians are being targeted in Nigeria, because that's its sort of core element. It's got quite a lot of traction with the religious right in the US, and that's really helped it in terms of getting that profile. So I think that the Tinubu administration thought we must counter this. We must counter it, both what's happening in the Trump administration, and we must counter the narrative of the Biafran secessionists.
And of course, as you said, Patrick, claims of a Christian genocide have been gaining traction in US political circles. I mean, from your investigations, how accurate or misleading is that framing of Nigeria's security crisis?
Well, everyone we've spoken to, including people in the US, but I mean, the most authoritative sources are obviously going to be coming from civic groups in Nigeria. And the view we've been getting is that there's a major security crisis in Nigeria. And I think the ACLED security trackers have said over 10,000 people were killed in violent attacks last year, which is a kind of low-level conflict level. I mean, if you think about the number of people that have been killed in Ukraine or Sudan, you're heading up to those sorts of figures. But that is across the board. That is Muslims, that is Christians, that is people of other faiths, and indeed atheists. I mean, every person, every citizen could be subjected to this violence. And I think that's the point, that it's not a targeted against one particular faith. Everyone is tied up in it. And I think it's had more resonance, shall we say, in the US, where the religious right and the Christian lobby groups are extremely powerful. And that's why it seems to have taken flight as a kind of propaganda meme that's gone out, and it's pushed the government into acting.
I was just going to, I mean, you've kind of answered the next question I was going to ask you, which is why has this narrative resonated so strongly in parts of the American political system, particularly among sort of conservatives and evangelical audiences? So let me move on from that, because your newsletter Africa Confidential, and as we've been discussing here, reports that the Tinubu administration has signed an expensive contract with a Republican-linked lobbying firm. I mean, what exactly is Nigeria trying to influence in Washington? Is it policy? Is it perception? Is it protection from sanctions? I know you sort of touched on it briefly, but if you could expand on that a bit.
I think that's that's the nub of the issue, Charles. Why so much money and why now? Because after President Trump made his statement, then National Security Advisor Nuhu Rabadu went to Washington with his intelligence staffers, and they met Peaks Hegseth and the U.S. Chairman of the Chiefs of Staff. They had a very high-level meeting 3 weeks after Trump's statement, and then they got into these negotiations about what security help Nigeria could get from the US. And it's nothing to do with lobbying. And that's what's a bit of a puzzle. Rabadu didn't need a lobbyist to open the door to meet Hegseth. He organized that through Nigeria's diplomatic channels. And a lot of people I've spoken to on the Nigerian side and the US side say, there's a number of extremely talented diplomats within the Nigerian system. And they're the people that should be called into action on this because they have a lot more credibility. They come from the country. They speak the languages. They know the issues. They know the political nuances in all this. And they would be far more effective than engaging foreign lobbyists. And the lobbyists are going to do, a bunch of things. But the main thing they're going to do is open a door to meet the top American officials. But it seems that Rabadu was able to do that without hiring a lobbyist at the time.
So, in that regard, does this kind of lobbying signal diplomatic weakness, or is it simply the reality of sort of modern international politics?
This is a very good question, though. Does this lobby now signifies diplomatic weakness? Does this lobby now signifies diplomatic weakness? It's a very good question. Does this lobby now signifies diplomatic weakness? Since you said, you had Nuhu, Tuga, Nigerian officials, they did not need lobby. So why now? Why do you need the lobbyists now? Why do you need the lobbyists now? What is the lobbyists for? So with all the meeting that you guys had with American officials far back then, even at that, bombs will still drop on your terrorists afterwards. Why? Why were bombs still dropped on your terrorists afterwards? Why? Why were bombs still dropped on your terrorists afterwards? Is it because the political engagement that you people had was not properly done? Or the conditions that were given to you? You were given conditions to go and disband Sharia and jihad law in your constitution. Did you do it? No, you did not do it. So why didn't you do it?
It's something everyone is doing. I mean, that is states across Latin America, states across Africa and Asia, and states across.
I beg, this very man that they brought to come and defend Nigeria here, this one another failure. They say, why is it political failure? Why they love it now? Is it, it's what everybody is doing. It's what everybody is doing. But you just rightly said that Nigeria don't need a lobbyist to do this and to make this to work because they already have political engagement, and they can talk to this person and talk to this person and then make it happen. So why do you now need a lobby? Oh, it is what everybody are doing. Talk, go front, talk, come back.
Across Europe tend to lobby US officials. I guess you could argue one thing the lobbyists could help with would be US Congress. Now, there are about $350 million worth of armaments which the US is meant to be supplying Nigeria to help on the counterterrorism campaign and all the rest of it. That stuff has got stuck in Congress under Joe Biden because the Nigerian military didn't meet their strictures on accountability and protection of civilians and so on. So I suppose that's one thing the lobbyists are going to do, which is to.
Yeah, I think he just exposed Nigeria here. He said they got stocked of those armaments because Nigerian army did not satisfy the Lehi agreement or the Lehi law. That means they breached the Lehi law. They breached the Lehi agreement. They breached the Lehi treaty, whereby using these weapons on civilians. How many of you remember that these weapons were used on civilians and has been used on civilians on several occasions? There's a video circulating on the social media that emanated from Biafra land, precisely in a Boeing. When they invaded Biafra land, the Nigerian army were shooting sporadically to the houses of Biafrans. And they say, kill them, kill them, kill them, kill them, kill them. They were raining bullets. And you think that Nigerian government are able to hide all this, they are evil. And you think that the US government are not seeing all it. You think that when they open fire on the Leggy toll gate protesters, that the US government are not seeing and watching it, and not seeing how you people are breaching the Lehi agreement and the Lehi law. You are using those weapons that you procure from America, and you're using it to kill unarmed civilians. You're not using it to go and kill the terrorists, but instead, you're using it to kill unarmed civilians who has not committed any crime. Those that are actually waking up to fight against the terrorists. So this man is actually here exposing Nigeria on what they did. Listen,
You could argue one thing the lobbyists could help with would be US Congress. Now, there are about 300.
So before they said, oh, they don't need lobbies. Now they now understand that they need a lobbyist to enter US Congress. They now understand that they need a lobbyist to enter US Congress. That to enter the US Congress, to break important bounds, to put treaties on the table, and to have important meetings that will bring America into discussion, you need to break through the US Congress. They undermine the Biafran government in exile. They said that, okay, Chukwu Nkere is going to Washington, D.C. to carry back and snap photo. They undermine his photo. They undermine his back. They say it's Photoshop. When he snap his photo and come out, they say, oh, he's only snapping photo, no result. But his engagement with the US Congress speaks volume. Now, Nigerian government are saying they have discovered that having a lobbyist to engage the US Congress is very important for them now. They need to go and do what BRGIA have been doing. Because by engaging the US Congress and the policymakers, we've been able to weaponize US foreign policy apparatus against Nigeria. That is why the weapons they're supposed to buy get stocked. The man is just confessing now because they use previous weapons that they bought to kill unarmed civilians. So the U.S. Department of America have to block all arms sales because they have violated the Lehi Agreement and the Lehi Law, which forbids you from using those weapons in regions that are not specified when you buy them, when you procure them. When they are buying these weapons, they tell American government that they want to use it to destroy the Boko Haram terrorists in the north, in the Middle Belt. But those weapons end up in Biafra land. Those weapons end up in the Old Eastern region. Those weapons end up in the areas where they claim that it is south-south and southeast. That is where those weapons end up. American government are seeing it. The evidences have been submitted to them, and now they are crying. Now they understand that they need a lobbyist to be able to penetrate and to break through the U.S. Congress. They want to break through U.S. Congress. They want to go to U.S. Congress. But they are coming to U.S. Congress is with lies. Because everything Nigeria is doing and coming up with is based on lies. The evidences are everywhere that they are lying left, right, center. They say there is no Christian genocide. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Nigeria was calling Donald Trump a liar. He said Donald Trump is basing his claim based on falsehood report that BRGIE, a secessionist movement for Biafra independence, has submitted to its lawmakers. That is what they said. So now that you're going to bring your lobbies and you want to go to Washington, D.C., are you going to come and tell lies to the U.S. Congress? BRGIE lobbies has not been telling lies to the U.S. Congress. BRGIE lobbies has been telling the truth to the U.S. Congress. And that is why they were able to make good results. And that is why they were able to see that whatever they put on the table, what they requested, even for them to have a congressional briefing and testimony inside the White House of America, something that has never happened before in this life, happened in this our own time. And I thank God that I'm alive this time to witness it and to be part and parcel of it. For American government, the American Congress, to accept the testimony from Biafran people, and then later granted us a physical appearance in the U.S. Congress to have the floor, to give testimony, and to speak for over 1 hour, 45 minutes, with more than 50 Biafrans present in the meeting. It is a history that will continue to sing. So we are asking this man that is here playing the card of Nigeria, are you people coming to the U.S. Congress to come and tell lies? Are you people coming to the U.S. Congress to come and tell lies? Eh? The kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not a lie. The Christian genocide is not a lie. The killing of Christians in Nigeria is not a lie. The slaughtering of babies, women, and children in Nigeria is not a lie. Which one do you want me to talk about? That you people collected money from European Commission because of oil and gas to imprison Mazi Simon Ekpa is not a lie, because you did it because of what? Biafra. If he did not carry Biafra identity to speak Biafra, will you have his time? No, you will not have his time. Oh. That they stand up and pronounce any citizen in Nigeria that defends his or herself against the terrorists, they say you must go through death by hanging. It is not a lie. It is happening in Nigeria. So, what are you people going to come and tell U.S. Congress? You want to come and tell U.S. Congress that Sharia is not instituted in your constitution? You want to come and tell U.S. government that you did not kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or that you are not paying Boko Haram terrorists, or you're not having dinner with them and sharing intelligence with them? Which one are you coming to come and tell them? Let us know.
$150 million worth of armaments, which the US is meant to be supplying Nigeria to help on the counterterrorism campaign and all the rest of it. That stuff has got stuck in Congress under Joe Biden because the Nigerian military didn't meet their strictures on accountability and protection of civilians and so on. Nigeria to help on the counterterrorism campaign and all the rest of it. That stuff has got stuck in Congress under Joe Biden because the Nigerian military didn't meet their strictures on accountability and protection of civilians and so on. So I suppose that's one thing. That stuff has got stuck in Congress under Joe Biden because the Nigerian military didn't meet their strictures on accountability and protection of civilians and so on. So I suppose that's one thing the lobbyists are going to do, which is to press U.S. Congress to release that money and to release those to release those arms, for which Nigeria is going to pay $250 million. And you've got to ask yourself, with the transactional nature of Donald Trump's government, that's selling arms to Nigeria is going to be probably easier under the present U.S. administration than it was under the Biden administration, with its various strictures on who buys arms and what they use them for.
Indeed, and of course, on the other side,
selling arms to Nigeria is going to be probably easier under the present U.S. administration than it was under the Biden administration, with its various strictures on who buys arms and what they use them for. Selling arms to Nigeria is going to be probably easier under the present U.S. administration than it was under the Biden administration, with its various strictures on who buys arms and what they use them for. Selling arms to Nigeria is going to be probably easier under the present U.S. administration than it was under the Biden administration, with its various strictures on who buys arms and what they use them for.
Who buys arms and what they use them for? Are you buying the arms to come and hand it over to Boko Haram terrorists? Are you buying the arms to come and use it to kill unarmed protesters, like the Iranian regime are doing today? Are you going to buy the arms to come and use it to kill the Biafran people because they are protesting for Biafra independence? That is to remind all of you, if you're a Biafran, get prepared, because this is the time and the hour for you to cook Nigeria, and serve them chaos. Did you hear what this man just said? This is the time that will determine who buy arms and what the arms are being used for. It is to buy arms. Now one business, Abi? Wetin you go use the arms take do? Na another business. So we did there. That is why Trump is telling you, as you want arms, Abi, are you going to use the arms to kill protesters? Are you going to use the arms to kill the indigenous people who are defending themselves? Are you sending the arms to Boko Haram terrorists? The same way that they have collected all the arms that were sold to you before. Because you share intelligence with Boko Haram terrorists. They are part and parcel of Nigerian army and their military formations. So Those that are afraid of protesting, this is time for you to hit the street of Nigeria, because Donald Trump's administration is holding this terrorist government accountable for what they will use the arms purchased to do. If they will use the arms that they purchase to kill you people in the street because of protesting. You see those ones that are shooting people in Ekboma, they are watching them and they are taking notes. So the question now is, what are you going to use the arms for? And where are you going to use the arms? Oh, we bought the arms to use the arms to go after Boko Haram. Now you're using it against the protesters. You will explain to us why you're using it against the protesters now.
And protection of civilians and so on. So I suppose that's one thing the lobbyists are going to do, which is to press U.S. Congress to release that money and to release those to release those arms, for which Nigeria is going to pay $1/3 billion. And you've got to ask yourself, with the transactional nature of Donald Trump's government, that's selling arms to Nigeria is going to be probably easier under the present U.S. administration than it was under the Biden administration, with its various strictures on who buys arms and what they use them for.
Who buy arms and what they use the arms for. Who buy arms and what they use the arms for. There are specifications on Donald Trump's government. You want to buy keke napep? We sell the keke napep for you. What are you going to use the keke napep for? Where are you going to use the keke napep? Tomorrow now, we see that the keke napep is being used in Enugu. But you said the keke napep is to be used in Abuja. You will get another sanction. So if you use that keke napep to kill the people in Enugu, hey, we will shut down Nigeria for you. We will come after you. That is part of what is called Accountability Act. Do you now remember when Senator Ted Cruz came up with Accountability Act? Do you now remember? Okay. The Accountability Act of Senator Ted Cruz is to hold people accountable, to ask them to explain what they have done and how they are doing with what was given to them, with what was sold to them. Listen, it is one thing to buy something, but there are conditions on the things you buy, because these are arms. Don't go and use it to kill innocent people. Use it only on the terrorists. Don't go and use it to kill unarmed protesters. Don't go and use it to kill protesters. Even if they have a different form and way of their rioting, don't use it to kill protesters. The arms we sold to you was to be used on Boko Haram terrorists in the far north. Conditions they have breached it before. That is why Senator Ted Cruz invoked the Accountability Act. And this very journalist here has just spoken something and said that our American government is holding Nigeria accountable for what they buy the arms for and what they use the arms they bought for. They said they bought it for Boko Haram. Are you using it for Boko Haram? Or you're now using it to go and kill the protesters? Or you're using it to go and kill Biafrans that will hit the street to protest, asking for Biafra, asking for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Was the arms sold to you to use it to kill Biafran people that protest on the street? Was the arms sold to you to use it to kill anybody that come to protest and say end Nigeria because our babies, women, and children have all been slaughtered. No, the arms was for you to use to kill Boko Haram terrorists, which is the prime enemy of the entire Christendom, most especially to America. They are no more they are no more threat to Europe and UK, but they are and China and Russia. They are bigger threat to America because America is the only one that is standing up against them. While UK embrace them, Europe embrace them, China embrace them, Russia embrace them. Those ones are only concerned about your resources of how much they will suck out from your community, but they don't care about what the terrorists are doing to your babies, women, and children. When they suck the resources out, finish with their deals, they go their way. They don't care. They have been doing like that for over centuries now. They don't bother about what the terrorists do to your babies, women, and children. But it's only one country that cares about you, and that is America. That is why they are always ganging up against America, because America stands to speak for the persecuted.
For which Nigeria is going to pay, $1/3 billion. And you've got to ask yourself, with the transactional nature of Donald Trump's government, that's selling arms to Nigeria is going to be probably easier under the present U.S. administration than it was under the Biden administration, with its various strictures on who buys arms and what they use them for.
Indeed, and of course, on the other side, looking at the brilliant article that Africa Confidential wrote, on the other side, Biafra-linked groups are also lobbying Washington, calling for sanctions, recognition, and even future military and oil deals. I mean, how seriously are these groups being taken in U.S. policy circles?
Are they panicking? Are they panicking about the deals of BRGIE to the American government? Are they panicking? Hey! So they are panicking about the deals of BRGIE. They're panicking about what Okechukwu Nkere is doing, the Prime Minister of BRGIE. They're panicking about what Elias is doing with his law firm for BRGIE, for Biafran people. They are panicking about what Amendabiri is doing with his law firm for the Biafran people. Ho, 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 ho. Is Nigerian government panicking? Are they already anticipating the fear of what Biafra has in stock for them? I think they say we'll be social media country. So social media country now is able to cripple Nigeria internationally, giving them the highest credibility damage of all times in 2025 and 2026. Today is 15th of January, and we are just starting 2026. And this cry is coming out so loud like this. Now, be say this 2026, go bubble. Let us hear what the response is going to be. And let him rephrase it again. Journalists, rephrase that question again.
Indeed, and of course, on the other side, looking at the brilliant article that Africa Confidential wrote, on the other side, Biafra-linked groups are also lobbying Washington, calling for sanctions, recognition, and even future military and oil deals. I mean, how seriously are these groups being taken in U.S. policy circles?
Wait, if this group were not seriously taken, will you guys go and pay $9 million? $9 million. $9 million fucking dollars. $9 million to go after Biafra government in exile lobbying work for Biafra independence, while you kidnap our leader and lock him inside prison. You now pick our leader also in Finland and lock him inside prison. And then you come to sit down to raise your shoulder and be doing boga and be asking us, are they taken seriously? Oh, are you joking? Are you joking? So you mean that you will lock up our leader in Finland and then you lock up our leader in Nigeria after kidnapping him all the way from Kenya? You lock them up. Then you carry some white envelopes and give some Nigerian belle-faced my neighbor politicians, the governors and the senators, the ministers that come from Biafra territory. You buy all of them, and then you think that you have destroyed Biafra. Oh, you see, we have not opened the full moon yet. Oh. We are just going with the half moon. By the time we open the full moon, foul nyash go scatter. Foul nyash go scatter. We want you people to understand that the imprisonment of our two leaders will remain the most expensive thing to you guys. And by so doing, we will turn it to become useless to you guys to have even imprisoned them in the first place. Because you will now come to understand that, oh, we kidnapped Mazen Namdekano, we imprison him. We pick Simon Ekpa, we imprison him. And many other Biafrans, we imprison them. Oh, even as we have done this, we have not been able to cripple Biafra. And then, what did not happen when Mazen Namdekano was here? What did not happen when Mazen Monegba was here is happening now. That means the bones that are here now are even stronger than the bones that are in prison. This is the thing you people need to understand. Our two leaders in prison are actually there for Biafra. Yes. But it is time for people to understand that Biafrans that were born to come to be and to bring out the monsters and to work out what the leaders in prison have started, that they are here now. Yes. That is why when our leaders were not in prison, Nigeria did not face this credibility damage that we have given to them. When our leaders were not in prison, Nigeria and the evil nature of Nigeria were not dragged to Washington, D.C. They did not get the credibility damage. They did not get the kind of thing that has been happening to them. Now, there was no bomb dropped on their terrorists inside their soil. We did not make you people to start running with poo-poo for nyash when our leaders were here. Today, you are all running to America because we have done you people what you undermine the Biafran people of. So, are you people now understanding and feeling it that kidnapping and imprisoning our leaders is kind of becoming useless? Kidnapping and imprisoning our leaders is kind of becoming more expensive because money that you did not spend when kidnapping our leader, money that you did not spend when imprisoning our leader, now you are spending more and you're increasing it. You have to go awire. You have to spend the more. Yes, because you have just started going into the spending and you're going to spend more. We just start to, when I go spend more. Let us hear how they want to respond about us.
than it was under the Biden administration, with its various strictures on who buys arms and what they use them for.
Indeed, and of course, on the other side, looking at the brilliant article that Africa Confidential wrote, on the other side, Biafra-linked groups are also lobbying Washington, calling for sanctions, recognition, and even future military and oil deals. I mean, how seriously are these groups being taken in US policy circles?
Well, serious enough that you've got people like Ted Cruz, who is the conservative senator who chairs the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He's a big supporter of the Biafra government in exile. He's a big supporter, actually, of the Somaliland region in East Africa. And Mike Pompeo, who was the former Secretary of State, and that was under Trump's first term. And Pompeo is a very devout evangelical Christian, and so is Cruz, and they're combining the two things. Where they're talking about the rights of the people of Southeast Nigeria, and also this issue again of protecting Christians. So yeah, they've got a lot of sway within the Republican Party. And a lot of this stuff, Charles, is about sentiment as much as anything else. It's often free from, shall we say, established facts and evidence. It's a sense that these are evangelical Christians who put that belief above all else. And the Biafran lobbyists have been extremely effective over probably 20 years, working through the religious right in the US, which brings together a lot of these evangelical groups, and they're big financiers of the Republican Party. And as the Republican Party has moved to the right, so have they. And they've become a big mobilizer of votes for the Republican parties. So there are people who are evangelical Christians who may not like the look of Donald Trump and his various comments about women and all the rest of it, but they bury that concern for the greater good, which they say is the man is for Christians. He's for evangelical Christians, and in that case, we're going to give him our support. So Trump, the evangelical base is absolutely critical for Trump, and that's, I think, it accounts for some of the success of the Biafra lobby in the US.
Well, that's a very illuminating assessment from you, and
That's a very illuminating assessment. Oh my God. That's a very illuminating assessment. Please, we need to know the names again. How effective, with this very part of this very, this very video, we need to crop out this very part. How effective is the Biafra Republic government in exile in Washington, D.C., in the U.S. Congress? How effective is Prime Minister Okechukwu Nkere handwork in Washington, D.C., U.S. Congress for the Biafra people? I thought that these journalists, these are two journalists. I thought that these two journalists are going to ask, how effective is a man accountability group? I was thinking that this journalist is going to ask, how effective is a man accountability group? How effective is Orabwe's accountability group doing in Washington, D.C., U.S. Congress? I was thinking that is the question that will come. But to the greatest surprise, I am hearing how effective the acting prime minister had acted in 2025 had dealt with Nigeria. How this prime minister today is dealing with Nigeria. how Elias and Attorney Dabiri firm are dealing with Nigeria. Hey, they say prophet no dey get respect for a hometown. You see, those that know us finish, that knows the full meaning of Okechukwu Nkere, who claims that they are Biafrans, who claims that they are also together with us fighting for Biafra. They are the ones that call Okechukwu Nkere names. They are the ones that call him criminal. They are the ones that call him all manners of names. They are the ones calling Sonny names, calling all of us all manners of names. But you see, an international analyst is giving you a concrete assessment of the good work, the effectiveness of BRGI under the Prime Minister, Okechukwu Nkere. He's showing you what he has achieved, what he is doing in Washington, D.C., what our lobbyists, Elias and Attorney Dabiri, is doing. This is a message to all of you that what you should be doing now is, how do you key in to join the forces that is making this thing happen? How do you come to support? You come to support by visiting the website. You come to support by becoming part and parcel of the fundraising and the town hall meeting. You come to support by hitting the donate button on the website. You go and donate. You support the government. You support the donation, because that is what has been able to catapult this work that our PM is doing to results that these men here can now enumerate the result. If there was no Okenkere as PM doing this work, if there was no Elias as lobbyist, if there was no Amen Dabiri as attorney doing this work, and all of you Biafrans that contribute your quota financially, there will be no result for these people to read the effectiveness of BRGIE. And this place is very interesting. The journalist at the end of the day say, this, your assessment is so illuminating. No, the illumination never come. Wait, let us go back. We want to play it again so that Biafrans can hear it and know how they describe our work assessment. You need to know our work assessment.
Indeed, and of course, on the other side, looking at the brilliant article that Africa Confidential wrote, on the other side, Biafra-linked groups are also lobbying Washington, calling for sanctions, recognition, and even future military and oil deals. I mean, how seriously are these groups being taken in U.S. policy circles?
Well, serious enough that you've got people like Ted Cruz, who is the conservative senator who chairs the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He's a big supporter of the Biafra government in exile. He's a big supporter, actually, of the Somaliland region in East Africa. And Mike Pompeo, who was the former Secretary of State, and that was under Trump's first term. And Pompeo is a very devout evangelical Christian, and so is Cruz, and they're combining the two things. Where they're talking about the rights of the people of Southeast Nigeria, and also this issue again of protecting Christians. So yeah, they've got a lot of sway within the Republican Party, and a lot of this stuff, Charles.
Make we not go too fast. Come back. We love to hear. We love to hear the way they answer this question, because it is sweet us for Bele. It is sweet us for Bele when you answer this question. Yes, it makes us to know that we are actually working. It makes us to know that our effectiveness is being seen, not even by those that claim are fighting with us, but American government are seeing our effect, and they are taking it very serious. Our photos and videos of meetings that we have, that some of you use it to do caricature on the media. American government are taking our meetings very serious and our engagement. These are people that go in to assess what we are doing. They go to check those that we have meetings. Even those people that we have meeting and we don't publish their names, we don't publish their photos. This criminal journalist here is bringing out all the names. You see? This criminal journalist here is bringing out all the names. Telling you people that we have made, how we are doing groundwork, the effectiveness of our lobbying, and and see the way he's explaining it very well, as if now they follow us to get the meetings with the officials. That is to tell you that they have done their investigative journalism. They have gone down to gather all information to know what we are doing. So, if some of the idiots that say they are Biafrans in the media do not see what we are doing, American government are giving you the assessment and the result of what we are doing. I think our lobbyists gave them a name. Is it a confused people of particular concern? I think so. I think Mazi Elias gave these people a name and said all those that are attacking his efforts in Washington, D.C., that they deserve a name, and the name is a confused people of particular concern. Please, let me see and let me get that so that I will not pronounce the wrong one. Confused people of particular concern. Confused people of particular concern. I saw where Mazi Elias wrote it somewhere. So let me see and confirm that there are now some people that have this code name, confused people of particular concern. And they claim to be what? Biafrans. So there are sure confused people of particular concerns now that are parading themselves as Biafran agitators in this very Biafran movement. And I love the code name, the way our lobbyists could name them. Said confused people. Okay, he said, I am hereby designating the useful idiot with the Biafran struggle as confused people of particular concern. Yes, confused people of particular concern. All of you that are fighting BRJ and the work of Mazi Elias and his law firm, and Attorney Dabiri and his law firm, and our PM and his cabinet. All of you, you are useful idiots. And he has given people a new name. Confused people of particular concern. Now, listen to international analysts digging in to come back and give you a recap of the effectiveness of BRJ. They did not come to give you the recap of the effectiveness of DOSO. They did not come to give you a recap of the effectiveness of Ngozi Orabufulanio with a whistleblower, survivor whistle, and Delta airline that she's going to use to catapult many of you from America to Nigeria, not even to Biafra, to Nigeria. He did not come to give you a recap of the handiwork of Emma Rabufulanio or Chioma or Ajare or Ruben Nadi. No, they came to give you a recap of Biafra Republic government in exile. I shared a screen before, because when this man was speaking, he said that BRJ has gained so much traction and they are very effective. So this is part of the effectiveness. He called on Senator Ted Cruz. He said Senator Ted Cruz is a very strong supporter of Biafra Republic government in Israel. Hey, so the international analysts are now identifying our strong supporters and their effectiveness in the U.S. policy making, seeing that we don't meet kwe people, we meet people that affect policy making in the U.S. Congress, in the U.S. government. We meet people that when they give support, the weight will be very, very heavy. So let's go back as the man continue to explain our effectiveness. If we were not effective, the Nigerian government would not go for $9 million to lobby against Biafra Republic government in exile.
The Biden administration with its various strictures on who buys arms and what they use them for.
Indeed, and of course, on the other side, looking at the brilliant article that Africa Confidential wrote, on the other side, Biafra-linked groups are also lobbying Washington, calling for sanctions, recognition, and even future military and oil deals. I mean, how seriously are these groups being taken in US policy circles?
Well, serious enough that you've got people like Ted Cruz, who is the conservative senator who chairs the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He's a big supporter of the Biafra government in exile. He's a big supporter, actually, of the Somaliland region in East Africa. And Mike Pompeo, who was the former Secretary of State, and that was under Trump's first term. And Pompeo is a very devout evangelical Christian, and so is Cruz, and they're combining the two things. Where they're talking about the rights of the people of Southeast Nigeria, and also this issue again of protecting Christians. So yeah, they've got a lot of sway within the Republican Party, and a lot of this stuff, Charles, is about sentiment as much as anything else. It's often free from, shall we say, established facts and evidence. It's a sense that these are evangelical Christians who put that belief above all else. And the Biafran lobbyists have been extremely effective over probably 20 years, working through the religious right in the US, which brings together a lot of these evangelical groups, and they're big financiers of the Republican Party. And as the Republican Party has moved to the right, so have they. And they've become a big mobilizer of votes for the Republican parties. So there are people who are evangelical Christians who may not like the look of Donald Trump and his various comments about women and all the rest of it, but they bury that concern for their the greater good, which they say is the man is for Christians. He's for evangelical Christians, and in that case, we're going to give him our support. So Trump, the evangelical base is absolutely critical for Trump, and that's, I think, it accounts for some of the success of the Biafra lobby in the US.
Well, that's a very illuminating assessment from you. And in that context, Patrick, I mean, is there a risk that fringe or poorly sourced claims could begin to shape US foreign policy towards Nigeria?
I think there's going to be no substitute for an effective state-led diplomatic operation with people like, Yusuf Togo, your foreign minister, who is widely respected in Europe and the United States, and Nuhu Rabadu, the national security advisor, and the top-ranking diplomatic cohort. And I think that's what's going to make the difference. Certainly not lobbyists. And I think American governments, Western governments in general, want to see that sort of level of engagement, both with the officials, even with the media, in fact, pushing back when they see, I've been in journalism a while, some countries push back immediately, like Rwanda or whatever. If they don't like what you're writing, they'll push back hard. They'll contact you and complain about it, pick you up on issues and say, that's fact is wrong. Why did you print that? We want an apology and all the rest of it. It's kind of activist approach to image making. And the only credible people to lead that kind of activist approach are the nationals from that country. They're top officials and skilled diplomats to get that point across. And I think that's where Nigeria has been missing in action. And it sort of led to this Trump campaign. And now it seems to have provoked a reaction in Abuja, which is to engage more and to work more closely with the officials in Washington.
So given where things are with that and the way that you clearly sort of assessed it just now, what are the risks for Nigeria when competing domestic actors take their battles to foreign capitals, especially Washington?
I think the national view is it's dangerous. I mean, there is a kind of unwritten rule that domestic politics stops at the border. I mean, that's the US rule. To some extent, it's the rule in Britain, although I think Britain is getting increasingly ill-disciplined on that one. That is to say, if you're in the Labour Party or the Tory Party in Britain, you don't go to France and start slagging off, your Tory MP. You don't go to France and start slagging off the Labour Prime Minister. You're not meant to do that. You're meant to keep your battles within your national boundaries. It looks bad if you've got, sure, you're going to have critics, but if they are another party, for example, in the Nigeria sense, I guess, if someone from the Labour Party turned up in Washington and started, holding meetings and condemning President Tinubu, something they could easily do in Nigeria, but it wouldn't be seen as a good way to run a campaign in the States. Why are you criticizing your own leadership abroad? You should be doing that. You should be organizing at home. So I think that's the danger with that. And I think it is a shame. I guess you could say that the Christian lobbyists are kind of a pressure group as much as a political party. I mean, they don't, as I understand it, the particular group that's hired the lobbyists is not going to be putting up candidates in the 2027 elections or anything like that. It's simply putting its demand to the US authorities directly, support us because we deserve self-rule, which is, in the terms of how the international non-governmental sector operates, I guess it's legitimate. I don't see the US buying into that, but it will certainly proffer support, and it could create problems for the Nigerian government, as we've seen. After Nigeria was declared a place of concern for the protection of Christians, if they started to impose sanctions because of that, obviously it would make life much more difficult for the Nigerian government. And I think that's another reason, the concern about possibility of sanctions, why the Tinubu administration acted pretty quickly after Trump made his initial statement.
Well, let me pick you up on that further about the potential problems. I mean, could this lobbying war complicate military cooperation and intelligence sharing, for instance, between Nigeria and the US, or make it less complicated based on what you're seeing at the moment?
I think it's in another kind of realm. The impression I get is that there's a level of professional cooperation between the Nigerian military people, the Nigerian intelligence people, and the US and their counterparts in the US. And once they agreed, once Hegseth met with Nuhu Rabadu and they agreed what the problem was, in this case they were, I think Rabadu, I hear, was arguing that there's this group coming across from the Tri-Point in the Sahel into Sokoto State, and that's a concern. And then the Americans agreed, and they looked at the targets and all the rest of it, and assessed it on that basis. I mean, so the questions that have been raised about that is just how effective that raid was, who was hit, what was hit, and to what effect it had on these fighters allegedly coming across from the Sahel. All of those questions are still unanswered, and that doesn't really add confidence all around. But I think it's on a military level in a way. I don't think the political debate between the Biafra groups and the lobbyists now, the DCI group that's lobbying, is going to really damage that military cooperation. I think the only thing that would damage it really seriously would be if the U.S. Congress decided that the Nigerian military was not accountable properly and it was misusing the weapons it was buying from the U.S. And that would obviously then constrain the Nigerian military in some way, and they'd have to look for other support sources of arms supply. I mean, I guess, in the broad run of things, Charles, a lot of this stuff gets snagged by geopolitics. Why is the US doing this in Nigeria? Are they concerned that if they don't supply arms to the Nigerian military, then China would, then Russia would? I mean, Russia has been sweeping across the Sahel, supplying the governments in that area with arms. Maybe they would move in more strongly in Nigeria if the Americans refuse to work with the Nigerians. So I think there's an element of geopolitics, but I don't think that direct competition between the Tinubu government and the Biafran secessionists, I don't think that really affects the military cooperation one way or the other.
And I mean, in the broader run of things that you talked about just a hot second ago, Patrick, I mean, whose narrative would you say is currently winning in Washington? The Nigerian government's or the separatists? And what evidence do you see of that?
It's really difficult within the Trump administration to state clearly and categorically what narrative is winning, because it's there was a talk under Obama. People used to talk about a team of rivals. I mean, under Trump, it's a team of sort of businessmen and competitive entrepreneurs all the time. And sure, you've got someone like Cruz who stood against Trump for the presidential nomination. And, there's some sort of animosity between the two. Trump used to call him Lying Ted and things like that. But Cruz is an important Republican senator. As I said, he chairs the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. That's powerful. And he's very pro-Biafra. Yet I see no signs that Rubio shares his views. Rubio is also right-wing, religious, I guess sort of evangelical too, but takes a different view on Biafra. So I get Rubio is foreign Secretary of State. He's also National Security Advisor. And Hegseth is also extremely close to Trump. And he was the main interlocutor with Ribadu. So I guess in terms of power politics, Hegseth and Rubio are on the Abuja and the Tinubu side for now, and they've supplied the weapons. Apparently, the AFRICOM statement yesterday said there's a shipments of weapons coming to the Nigerian military via AFRICOM. So you've got to say that they're winning the narrative, but I don't think the Biafran lobbyists are going to give up. I think they're going to be there pushing their agenda. And who knows? I mean, you could see some concessions being made. People are talking about the fate of Nnamdi Kanu and stuff like that. So I think in the battle of the big power, I think the top officials in Abuja have managed to hold the top officials under Trump to their line for now. But I'm saying, the way the Trump administration works, as they say on the Moluwe in Lagos, no condition is permanent.
Indeed. And that's a good way to end.
Hey, oh my God. As they say in Moluwe in Lagos, no condition is permanent. So your aspirations and your assertions that Michael Rubio is standing for Tinubu. Your condition of your idiosyncrasy, is not permanent. Okay, so that means in your research, yeah, you have not even gotten to the point of going through meetings and engagement of Secretary Rubio with our PM. You have not gotten to that point. Oh, I thought you have even taken time to gather all your facts before you come. You don't gather the fact plenty. We came to deal with Nigeria in a systematic manner without making noise. It doesn't matter who you call name and say support us or who you say doesn't support us. But we are fully ready this time. And we have activated all the arsenals. We are making use of all of them and they are all working for us. Hey, we salute Biafrans. If you have not listened to this very interview, go and listen to it. This very interview is Battle for Biafra at Nigeria Lobbying at Washington, D.C. and the result with the Christian persecution in quote. Go and listen to this very interview. This interview makes you to understand how effective you are as a Biafran, as a lobbyist, as APM, as PM, as BRI cabinet, as BDF, as a Biafran, as an admin and rep. All these were done when we had our PM then as APM. This was 2025. He was doing this as APM. And today now, he is what? Yesterday, Biafrans gave him full mandate to now work as PM. What do you think will happen in 2026? The sky is our limit. We are preparing very well for the zoo, and we're telling them to get ready. Now, while Nigeria spent $9 million to go this far, just to know how effective we are and what we are going to do next, do you know what this $9 million would have done against these people here on the screen? Look at this. Do you know what the $9 million would have done for you? Do you know what $9 million would have done here? Do you know what $9 million would have done to eliminating these terrorists on the screen? Tinubu is paying $9 million to come and stop Biafra because of Biafra exposing them and going very fast for Biafra and destroying them. Today is 15. Nigerian terrorists sponsored by Tinubu gave this warning on the 1st of January. What is the message? The message is convert to Islam or die. ISWAP burns down Christian village in Adamawa. They say, convert to Islam or you die. This is what Tinubu and Nigerian government
should have used their $9 million to do. Their $9 million should have procured weapons to kill these terrorists. Their $9 million should have acquired all intelligence networks to track down these terrorists. But they are apportioning $9 million to go to Washington, D.C., to go and tell U.S. Congress that the Christian genocide that we are talking about is a lie. That the Islamic jihadist terrorists that we're talking about is a lie. Whereas the same terrorists are issuing life threats on a daily basis. They are invading communities. They are taking over communities. They say Borno is gone now. They say, wait, let me see. Let me see. Kogi State is gone now. Kwara is gone. Ogun State is surrounded. Oyo State to pay tax to terrorists. What has Nigerian government done about it? This is where your $9 million should have come to. Your $9 million should have come here to destroy the terrorists that gave a big warning to Christians, telling them that they must convert to be part and parcel of them, to also carry knife and cut off heads of babies, women, and children, or they die. This is what the $9 million should have been used for. But since they have misplaced priority leaders, misplaced prioritized brains, dead brains that prioritize nonsense, this is what you see them do with your money. What you will see them do with your money is to use $9 million to go and pay lobbies. The money were gotten from your oil wells. The money were gotten from your resources, which you don't feel the dividends of the democracy. You only bear the name that there is oil in your own land, but how the oil is used, you don't know. Where the dividends of the money is going to, you don't know. But terrorists controls the money and decide what you do. This is what the $9 million should have done to Nigerians. It should have been used to go after these terrorists and eliminate all of them. But you see, Nigerian government do not pay any attention to this. Instead, they come to pay money to lobbies, 9 million, for those lobbies to wake up and start fighting Biafra and start countering Biafra. That any office that Biafra enter and come out, they will also enter. Any conference meeting that Biafra enter and come out, they will also enter. The same way that Nigerian government had groomed and recruited many of you, that since Mazi Wazirike started Biafra, you have only been on the antagonizing side. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu started, you have only been on the antagonizing side. Mazi Simon Ekpa started, you have only been on the antagonizing side. Now, PM Okenkere is here, you are on the antagonizing side. Since after convention of 2024, all of you, what you do on the media is that every day your topic is Sonny and Okenkere. Your topic is Elias and Attorney Dabiri. That has been your topic throughout 2025. And if somebody asks you, what has been your report card for Biafra in 2025? You cannot give any, because the only thing you do is to come to the media and shout, wow, 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 wow. Then you shout Sonny's name, you shout Okenkere's name, you shout Elias' name, you shout Attorney Dabiri's name, you shout Bias, you shout Success, you shout Butuzo, you shout General Gento, you shout all the BDF names. But yet, what are you contributing to BRGIA? Nothing. So the $9 million that were given to U.S. lobbying team to come and lobby to tell the U.S. Congress that there is no Christian genocide. that Biafran people are not being massacred and kidnapped, that Biafran people should not have Biafra independence recognition. That $9 million that they gave, that $9 million should have taken care of these terrorists. You are paying $9 million to US lobbyists to come and counter the Biafran narrative. But there is one that is standing on the international board, the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Is that not international violation? What are you going to come and tell the US lobbies? What are you going to come and tell the US congressmen and women? Your lobbies will come and tell US congressmen and women that you did not kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Oh, you did not commit international violation. You did not kill babies, women, and children. No. Oh, is that what you're going to come and tell them? Even UK is complicit in your case of Nigeria because UK massacred babies, women, and children, supervised the genocidal war of Biafra in 67 to 70s. And Nigeria and UK are on the same shit. I salute all Biafrans. And I thank you all for joining. Please and please tell these people that next time they should use your $9 million to advertise something else. Because this very market that they bought, na bad market. Because they have succeeded in using the $9 million to advertise Biafra government in exile, to advertise Biafra recognition, to advertise Biafra restoration, to advertise Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to advertise Mazi Simon Ekpa, to advertise our PM Okechukwu Nkere, to advertise our lobbyists and his law firm Mazi Elias, to advertise our attorney Amen Dabiri. They have used $9 million to advertise Biafra independence in a large scale. And you just listen to the analysts tell you what is the effectiveness or how effective is what Biafra Republic government in exile doing in Washington, hitting Nigeria, how effective it is. And they gave you a very illuminating answer to tell you that BRGI, their work and results is super and super effective. So you don't take them for granted. If you take them for granted, you are doing yourself more harm than good. So if you are not supporting Biafra Republic community in exile, come now and support, because this is the only place that have results for you. This is the only place that you see results happening since November 2024 down to this very day. This is the only government that is giving you results from left, right, center. Wake up and support your freedom. Biafrans should get ready for a nationwide protest. Get ready to protest. Get ready to activate what is happening in Iran, in Biafra land. You have to hit the street. You have to make Nigeria be in chaos. Your leaders cannot be in prison. And then you expect your leaders to be the one to give you instruction. If I were the one in prison, the only thing I would tell you is that you should calm down. You should not cause problem. Because that is the only message people that are in prison can tell you. People that are in prison and in chains can never tell you, go and do this for me. Go and cause problem. Go and burn this place down, or go after the people that put me in prison. No, they cannot say that, because if they say that, they are risking their chances of coming out. So it is you that is here that need to hold those that put your leaders in prison accountable for what they have done. If you want Biafra to happen tomorrow, you should be ready to fight back. Fighting back is expunging the presence of the occupiers in your land. Let me bring something to the screen. And I want to use it as a point of context as I end today's program, because I have to bring it down now. That I want everybody to look at something. I want everybody to look at the message of Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump was encouraging and calling on the people of Iran as they are protesting. And then he gave them a very strong message. I want you all to listen to the message of Donald J. Trump and see the message or the word in parentheses. He said, Iranian patriots, keep protesting. Take over your institutions. Save the names of the killers and abusers. They will pay a big price. I have cancelled all meetings with Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops. Help is on the way. Mega President Donald J. Trump. This is where I want you to take home. Take over your institutions. Take over your institutions. Take over your institution means taking over all those facilities that are calling themselves Nigerian facilities in your very Biafra land. Take over those facilities. Take over those facilities. Any facility, any institution that is standing and representing Nigeria inside Biafra land, that is what it means in this message. Take over your institutions. For those of you that will be protesting, Donald Trump did not say, go to Mama Put joint, or go to Anthony shop, or go to Sister Ngozi beer parlor, or go to Sister Emeka Indomie warehouse. He did not say, go to where Chief Ebuka is selling goat. He did not say, go to where Mama Neka is selling egg. He did not say, go to where Mama Chidozie is selling pork meat. No. He said, go and take over your institutions. Take over the government house. That is institution. Police station is your institution. That is the place you need to take down. He said, take them over. Take control of it. You are in a revolution, a popular uprising. That is what it means. When you start your protest, don't go and engage poor man shop. Don't go and engage in looting of poor man business. If you want a place that you need to take down the institutions that is representing Nigeria. The Nigerian courthouse, where they used to pronounce Mazi Nnamdi Kanu death and life imprisonment, that is Nigerian institution. That is an institution that you need to take over. The police station and the barracks, the federal secretariat and the state, the civil defense union, every place that represents Nigeria, those are the institutions that is referring to, which is advising you as those that are embarking on a protest and a popular uprising. You want your voices to be heard. You target those government institutions. That is where your message is heard, because you need to take them over and take control of it. I salute all of you. This is a take-home message to all of you as you get prepared and stand your ground in waiting for the protest that is coming. Prepare yourself. Protest is coming. Get ready and target those institutions that are misrepresenting you, that is not representing Biafra, but it is representing Nigeria. Take them all down. They will. I salute all of you.